Hey guys, welcome back to part 8 of this endless runner game tutorial series in Unreal Engine. And in this video, we are going to create platforms for this road path. And also we will be making an advanced spawning system which will spawn the obstacles and platforms pattern wise. And also you can download this whole project from my Patreon. So you don't have to make the whole game yourself and speed up the process. All the links are in the description. Alright, so now we want to make platforms for this road path. So go to your construction volume folder and inside this go to mesh folder, and out of all of these meshes you can use any of them to make a platform. But here I'm gonna select this one. Let me place this into the level. So we can use this asset as a platform on which our character will run. So let me scale this a bit. So this looks great, I guess. And this platform is somewhat going to look like this, and to climb on it we are going to use this wooden plane. Let's place this in front of this and let's rotate this so that our player can climb onto it. Yeah, somewhat like this. And now it pretty much looks like a platform on which our player can run on. Alright, now let's delete these boxes. And now here what we are going to do is, we want to save this asset as it is, as its default orientation. So for that, just select this, go to tools, and here click on this merge tool option. And here click on merge actor. Even though it's just a single asset, it's still gonna work. Now here let me create a separate folder to keep all of our platform assets. And let's save it here. Alright, now if I place this asset into the level, here you'll see its default orientation is just like we set it before. And if I replace it with this, you can see it's just exactly like that. Alright, now we need to edit its pivot to the center. So first let's set its X location to 0, so it's a little easier to edit. Now go to the modeling mode and here go to X form and click on edit pivot. And now you can shift your gizmo to the center and also set the Z location of the pivot to 0, so it will always stick to the ground later when we spawn it. And when you're done with that, click on accept and the pivot has been changed permanently. Now we are also going to do the same with this box. So select and click on merge actors and save it in that folder. And there you can see its default scale is set to what we changed before. And for this asset also, we are going to edit its pivot at the front. Make sure to shift the pivot at the front and widthwise at the center, because this pivot position matters a lot when we are going to spawn these platforms. So we are done with editing the pivot point and its position has been changed permanently. Now similarly, you can make as many as platforms you want for your road path. Like I'm going to go with this. Let me scale this according to our road. There you go, looks great. And for the ladder, to climb up on the platform, I'm going to use this one. Let me rotate and scale this a bit too. So now it looks aligned for this platform perfectly. And now do the same process for what we did for the previous platforms, means the merge tool and editing the pivot. So when you're done with that, let's go to the blueprint folder and here let's create a new folder and let's call this platform. And here we are going to create a blueprint class of vector type and we are going to call this base platform BP, since this is going to be a base class for all the platforms we're gonna have in this project. Now here let's add a static mesh component and let's name this platform mesh. Now let's duplicate one more and let's name this ladder mesh. Now in this one, let's select that wooden stair we were using for that wooden platform, which is this one. And for the platform mesh, let's select the platform, which is this one. So let me place this in the right location like this. And what we want to do here is, we want to keep adding this platform mesh one after another, like according to how much platform length you want. But rather than doing this manually, we are going to do it with the logic. Now for that, I need to have the end location of the platform to which I want to add another platform. Like it is just similar to how we did with the floor BP. Like here if you remember, we have this attach point and using its location we add another road next to it. So we are going to do something like that, but we are not going to add any component for that, since we're gonna add multiple platform mesh in a single blueprint. So how are we going to get that location? So to do exactly that, open up your platform mesh and here go to your socket manager. If you don't have this window here, you can get it from the window tab right here. So here let's add a socket and let's name this attach point. Now its default location is where your pivot is, so we are going to drag it all the way to where your platform ends, like this. So now let's go back to the platform blueprint And we are going to do the same with our ladder mesh. So open up its static mesh and here add a socket. Keep the name same for all the sockets, that is attach point, and then drag it to its end location. Think of it as the point where the next platform is going to get attached. So after you're done with this, go back to your base platform BP, and here instead of manually placing this platform next to this ladder, we are going to do that in the runtime. So let's give it the default location and we are going to attach it in the construct script. You can think of it as event begin play, but the code inside here starts working before even you hit the play button, like in the editor itself. So what we want to do here is, we want to set the location of the platform mesh to this ladder mesh attach point, right? Which should be around like here. So to do that in blueprints, get the platform mesh and here set the world location. Now here, why are we using the world location instead of relative location? Well, that is because ultimately we are going to place this platform mesh into the level, right? And all the attachment code that we write in the blueprint is only gonna work if we code in the context of the world location. Alright, now what we want to do is, we want to get the location of the socket that we created before. So for that, get the ladder mesh and here search for the get socket location. And the socket name was attach point. So plug this to the platform mesh location, and now after we compile, here you can see the platform has been attached to that socket point of the ladder mesh. Let's adjust the point a little bit so that the gap will be perfect. And after compile, as you can see, the gap has been filled. Now we are going to do the pretty much same thing to add platform mesh one after another. And to control that, let me create a variable. Let's name this platform length and make sure it's an integer. And let's say its default value is 1. Now we want to add a platform mesh right here at this location, and to get that location we have this socket point, right? So get platform mesh, then get socket location. The socket name was attach point. Now right click and promote this to a variable, because we are saving the attach point location for the next platform into this variable, and let's name this last platform attach point. Now we have the location where we want to add our next platform. How are we gonna add it? So just like how you add a static mesh component from here, the similar way to do it at the runtime, search for add static mesh component. So this is how we add a component at runtime, and then search for set static mesh. And the mesh we are going to give it is a platform mesh, since it's the same mesh that we want to repeat. So get its static mesh and plug it here, and the same mesh will be assigned to the next platform. And then we need to give it the location to the attach point. So set the world location and give it this attach point location. Let's compile, and here you'll see now we have two platforms in our blueprint. The one that we already have there and another that we add at the runtime. But now we want to add multiple platform mesh like this. So for that, let's add a for loop here. There it is. And let's set the last index to 5. So now what this will do is, it is going to call this code 6 times one after another, since the loop starts from index 0 to 5. And as this loop runs, it is going to add 6 more platforms in our blueprint, but at the same location, since we haven't updated this attach point location after every time we spawn a new platform. So let's update this attach point location every time we add a new platform, and the location is going to be the socket location of the new added platform. So from here, search for get socket location. The socket name is attach point, and update it here. So now let's compile. If you go to the viewport, here you can see we have these 6 platforms one after another, but it's very constant, right? Like, what if we want to change the length as much as we want? So to do exactly that, get the platform length variable which we just created, and we can use this as the last index, but instead we need to subtract 1 and then plug it to the last index, because the index starts from 0. And now as you see, we have 2 platforms in our blueprint, even though the length value is 1. So here instead let's start the index from 1, since we have the 1 platform that we added manually. Now you can see it syncs with the value of our variable, and now we can control the length of this platform using this variable. And that's so cool. Like, if we want to add 50 platforms, there you can see we added them really quickly. So let's keep the default value to 3. Now one thing that I want to show you is, if you place this platform into the level like this, and now you want to control the length of the platform, what you can do is set this length variable to instant editable and expose to spawn. And now in your level, you'll see from here you can control that variable value. That's so cool. But unfortunately, we don't need that feature. So let's uncheck it, since we are going to spawn this platform at the runtime, so we don't manually decide the length of the platform. So instead, set the platform length here, and we are going to give it the random value. So get random integer in range, Let's give the minimum length around 4 and maximum to, let's say, 7. And this way we will get random length of the platform each time. You can already see that in the viewport, like when I compile every time, I get a random length. Now since this is a base class for the platforms, we are going to create the child class of this blueprint. Let's name this wooden platform BP and then duplicate this, and let's name this one concrete platform BP, like since we have two platforms in a game. Now inside the base platform, remove the staring mesh from these components, since we are going to do that in its child class. Now let's go to wooden platform BP first, and here give its respective mesh. After this, let's go to concrete platform BP and here give its respective mesh. Now here we haven't created any socket point for this platform meshes, so let's open up this static mesh, and from here at the socket point, just like we did for other platforms, name this attach point and place it at the end of the mesh. Now do the same with this platform mesh. And there you can see it works perfectly fine for this another platform. And now we have these two platform blueprints ready for a game, and now we want to spawn them into a level. So for that, let's go to your game mode, because here we define all the logics related to the level, and here what we are going to do is, just like we created the variable to store all the obstacle classes, we are going to create one more variable like this, which stores all the platform classes we have in our game. And from the variable type, search for base platform BP and select the class reference. Make sure it's an array. Now let's compile, and since we have these two platforms in a game, we are going to add two array elements here. One is for the concrete platform and the second one is for the wooden platform. Now to get a random platform each time, what we are going to do is, here you see we have this get random obstacle function that we created in the previous part. So we are just going to duplicate this, and I'm gonna name this get random platform. And here I'm gonna do some changes to get random platform. Here replace the obstacle class variable with this platform class variable. Then get a copy out of it, and from the return node, remove this parameter. Now here just replug the pins, and then drag this to the return node. And here let's name this platform class. There you go, and now we can use this function to get a random platform. Now here we have this spawn obstacle event, and this event adds obstacle in our path. So the similar way we are going to spawn our platforms. So duplicate this event, and here let's rename this event to spawn platform. And here the only change we need to do is just change this parameter variable type to base platform BP and rename the parameter to platform class. Now in your game mode, the similar way, call the spawn platform event. And here let's give it the random platform that it will spawn and also the random lane. And now if we play, here you'll see it also spawns the platform along with the obstacles. That means it's working. But the problem here is, sometimes the obstacle and the platform both are at the same lane, because we are just spawning them in the random lane, and sometimes for both of them that random number can be same. So we are gonna fix that in the next part. So that is it for this part of this tutorial series. If you really like this video, you can support me on Patreon, where you can get all the project files I've ever created for these tutorial videos. The link is in the description, and you can also join my Discord server where you can interact with other developers of this community. And if this video really helped you out, you can like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I wanna thank the Patreon members of this month. Thank you so much for your support, it means a lot. Alright, till then, see you, bye bye.